Well, good morning, everybody. It's come to this, the final week of our series, and this is episode 77, I think it is now. 77. Thank you for joining us. Well, we're not going to do a recap of last week because there's no need to. But this show today is dedicated to the staff at Alia and to Brian and to my good friend Mark English, who's been there right from the very beginning. Now, it's not very often that I'm complimenting someone like that, but today this is where it comes down to complimenting someone on their work. And now, for the second last time, joining me on episode 77, the second last episode of this wonderful journey, here's Mark English. Good morning for the second last time.
Good morning, Barry. Good morning, viewers, and welcome. And it's a hot day for the start of our last week together. Nice and steaming, and I think that's going to bode well for our schedule for the day. And most of it is hopefully going to be taken up with your farewell party, Barry.
So, we'd like to go over now, or to open our last program with, you know what I'm holding up? Like hand sanitizing. Okay. Sanitize your hands well, guys. But we will get to that very shortly here on the show. But, like I've said at the start of this program today, this is a dedication to all the Alia staff that have looked after me since I've got here. Now, Out and About started on Monday, May 30th, at 10 o'clock in the morning. Our first outing was on the Story Bridge. Here's Mark to take up the story with that.
Thanks, Barry. Yep. First outing, Story Bridge. Baptism of fire for both of us, really, because that was our first actual joint together. We had met, but it was just a group meet and greet. And then our first day was off to the Story Bridge via the bank in the valley. And threw up a few interesting roadblocks for us, didn't it, Barry?
It did.
But found our way around all those roadblocks and managed to complete the first mission of crossing the bridge and successfully getting ourselves home, albeit a little bit late. But, that was just part of the learning curve, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, taxis, well, I shouldn't say taxis. The wheelchair accessible maxi taxis are very difficult to book after 3 o'clock in the afternoon because apparently, go figure, they're all doing school runs. So private school runs. Anyway, it's a shame that, clearly you can't walk home from school anymore, and the old-fashioned way. But there you go. Maxi taxis and schools.
So, we've also covered our topics on being civil on the phone, and we will cover this today on the show also. Now, episode 20 was the next episode that Mark and I did, and that was at Bray Park. This is where Mark and I started our first our time together, and on episode 20 where I thought I had the good news about my house in Sydney. Again, like Mark has said on many of the shows here, miscommunication. And
Yes, it was a serious miscommunication, though. Left you extremely unhappy.
and that it did. So it left me feeling quite bewildered. But the real problem started, guys, when I didn't have the funding, when I thought I did. Now that was on the 20th of May, before Out and About even commenced. So, I was not a very happy Vegemite. But then come June, this is where everything snapped. Like it literally fell apart. And Out and About on episode 21, bang, I was not well. Here's Mark for that.
Yes, well, it didn't take long for COVID to catch up with us, did it, Barry? So, as you said, we started on 17. We only made it to 21, and boom, there you go, you got COVID. And that led to 12 days of isolation for you, which is terrible. And of course, after your 12 days of isolation, I think you'd done 12 by the time it got to 14. That's when I tested positive. And so we missed quite a few opportunities to get out and about, sort of early on. But ever since then, it's been good, except for my little holiday in August.
So, in July, tragedy struck me and I was left alone in the studio for quite some time. Very emotional indeed.
Just excuse me, viewers, for a sec.
And I will pause that. We will continue this conversation later, but until for the moment, the number we rely on 24 hours a day, you know what it is, 000. Please do not.
Yep.
Okay, and we will take a break and see you a bit later. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the second part, or the continuation of part 1 of our last show. This is Barry Bear and Mark England. Sadly today, it brings to an end of our Monday session. Or should I rephrase? Sadly, it is the last day of our Monday session. And what a privilege it has been to really bring the show to you over the past 10 months. And my word, Mark, how time has flown. Good morning to you. Welcome back.
Good morning, Barry. Thank you. Yes, time has flown. It won't be that long, and it would have been 12 months. And it certainly does not feel like it. We've managed to achieve a lot.
So, I've got some advice for you guys out there. Don't put cotton buds in your ears, for God's sake. Here's Mark.
Yes, that was just a bit of reinforcing advice from the doc. Cotton buds, bad in ears. So,
okay for between the toes,
yep,
but not in ears. Get a tissue, right, roll it up, okay, and that's it. And use a bit of olive oil too.
well, that was a recommendation, a drop of olive oil as a softener, rather than paying for anything fancy.
So guys, our show today really is about what you have thought of it. What was your favourite episode? Tell us about it. We'd like to hear from you. Here's Mark now.
Yes, it'd be lovely to hear from someone with some either constructive criticism or, I suppose ideas for things to do in the future, or just comments in general. So anything would be great.
So, like I said, today marks the end of what began on May 30th. Here's Mark.
Yep, so that was our first day of actual outings, and so that was our trip to the Story Bridge, as we've mentioned, and it's been a weekly affair ever since then.
So we missed a couple of episodes. Okay. So guys, let's go back to where it all began. Okay. Like I said in the intro, back of the studio. Okay. We sorted out the internet banking first, but couldn't get that happening. Then it was a long trek up to the Story Bridge, and it took an hour. Here's Mark.
Yes, the hour to go, the 400 metres, seemed excessive, but the situation was that I didn't understand how difficult it was for electric wheelchairs to navigate old streets, and that the ramp from the road up to the footpath is exceedingly poorly designed, in such that when Barry tries to cross it, it just lifts his drive wheels off the ground, and midway up the ramp he just comes to a standstill. So not very effective for electric wheelchairs.
So guys, really that is it for us
in a nutshell, because like, I don't think there's anything we need to tell you except thanks for joining us. Here's Mark.
Yes, without a potential audience, then it's all futile. So thank you for joining us and tuning in and watching Barry's out and abouts. And, you know, long may they continue.
So, this is where the show winds up, guys. And as sad as it may be, okay, I hate to do it, but you know, just think about the times that we've spent together, spoken in the taxi, you name it, we've done it. Here's Mark.
Yeah, we've had a lot of time together, and whether we've been out and about or not, thoroughly enjoyed our time. So obviously those that are regular viewers will know that we do some cooking sometimes rather than heading out, and it's a good way to both the obvious feed Barry and, you know, give us activities during the day that, you know, means Barry gets to eat what he wants, and, you know, we have to go off and trundle around to find it and get it ourselves and put it together. So, you know, it's a great way for his time to be useful.
So like I said, you know, it really has been a very rewarding experience. It really has, and without your support, guys, up here in Queensland, well, I would not have been able to present the show to you, and you know, without your support, I came out and about and in the studio. You know, it wouldn't have been possible. Here's Mark.
Yeah, well, we've had a good run, and yeah, I'm sure we would have figured out something to get you out and about, Barry. But yeah, it's been a great event for me, particularly from the point of view of, you know, learning, because as I said to you, not used to electric wheelchairs and the restrictions that they have, and I've certainly never done a YouTube video, and you know, worked with that technology, so all learning for me.
So guys, with this video today, I have put together a selection of clips last night from some of our out and abouts. Now, you may remember Scarborough episode 21 where I really fell apart. Here's Mark.
Yeah, so I don't know about fall apart because
Well,
you had COVID.
Well,
And that day you found out that you had COVID, you were in the doldrums, that's for sure.
now,
And going downhill fast on the day.
Now, I've also included the first part of Scarborough in the selection of videos that I have presented. Now, funnily enough, Mark was right, is right. I went down so very badly that day, okay? And it was not good. So by the time Mark and I got the cat back to Bray Park, which was where we were, and that's where our out and about started. Well, as soon as I had the COVID test, bang, I was positive, and I was in bed pretty much of that Monday night. Now, we won't bore you with all the bad stuff. Okay, we've done some excellent stuff here. We've been to Silkstone, where we are now, and Mark, I don't know about you, it has been an absolute pleasure to work and to do the show.
It has been a pleasure, Baz. It's been not just informative, but it's been fun and, just getting out and seeing some of the places. I love those places. I love going to New Farm Park and the Botanic Gardens and, for an amble along the river. They're all things that I just love doing anyway. So it was a pleasure to share them.
So, perhaps you would like to make some out and about videos with somebody that's just moved up to Queensland and get them to some of the places Mark and I have shown you. Get the presenter to write in, just like we've encouraged you. And, just think about how much fast time is gone. Bang. It's just gone. Here's Mark.
Yeah, the time's gone very quickly. And as they say, time's always going quickly when you're having fun. It drags when you're not. So, the months have flown by for me, and it's been always intriguing to turn up and, it's not often we've actually had a solid plan in advance. So it's always been a bit of an adventure where we're going to go.
So, as we close the second part of our show, our last Monday show today, and go back to the studio to continue this, we'd like to encourage you to get out to some of the places that we have shown you. If the weather's going to be cracking good, go ahead, get out there, get a picnic basket. There are lots of places that you can go and put a picnic basket down with a blanket. Here's Mark.
Absolutely, there's so many places where you can go to have a picnic. It's almost impossible not to find a place to have a picnic. So parks galore. There's so much foreshore, both in Brisbane City and if you head out towards Sandgate, Shorncliffe, Deagon, those places. Loads of beautiful parks on the water, and then of course the whole Redcliffe Peninsula. So all of it, basically Woody Point, Kippering, Redcliffe, Shorncliffe, They all have beautiful foreshore areas and loads of foreshore parks for picnicking. And, you know, basically Scarborough, Redcliffe, and Woody Point. There's one in the middle there too somewhere. I always forget. But
And Deception Bay.
well, I was going to talk about beaches.
And
So we'll leave Deception Bay out of the beaches because sometimes it's got a beach and sometimes it's just mud and water all the way. But certainly, you know, the Redcliffe Peninsula, so from Woody Point all the way around to Scarborough, there's a beautiful beach.
so why waste the opportunity, guys? I mean, there's so much to see and do up in Queensland. Okay, take away some of the tips Mark and I have talked about. And if it's a rainy day, check out Strathpine Bowl. 'Cause we've been there a few times. And if it's too hot, go forward. Where it's nice and cool, there are lots of takeaway areas where you can get your lunch, like Mark's famous roast pork and apple sauce sandwich. That was a favourite of his. And the panini. Here's Mark to tell you about it.
Well, I can tell you all about the roast pork and apple sandwich, but, you know, obviously the panini was yours, Baz, so you're better qualified to talk about the panini.
So the panini, guys. It was from Soul Origin, okay? So you know, it had lettuce, tomato, you name it, it had it.
Oh, and the all-important chicken snitty.
And the all-important chicken schnitzel, okay? You know, it was really great, and we even tried it at home ourselves, okay? Yeah, you know, and it was great because that recipe is up on YouTube for you now. So if you don't feel like traveling, watch some of the videos that Mark and I have done for you, okay? There's absolutely no excuse to have a backup plane. Because if the weather is crap, there's no excuse not to go up to the shops, guys. Get yourself some ingredients for chicken snitty cleaning, okay? Absolutely no excuse. And the white yum, as we called it, well, the white Christmas, but we named it white yum. So there's cooking for you. There's lots for you to do. So we would like to encourage you today to really get out there and explore the places. Go to the Ginger Factory. It's wheelchair friendly. It doesn't cost you a thing to get in. Okay? Just wander on in. Get the train from wherever, like Bray Park, if you live in that area. Okay? Just like we did. Okay? Okay, so guys, there's really not much Mark and I can say to you. And what an absolute pleasure it has been to bring this series to you. Here's Mark.
It has been a pleasure, Baz. Thank you. You are the obvious driver and instigator of all things that happen with regard to out and about. So, you know, you're the brains and the brawn behind getting the shows done. And without your commitment, it just wouldn't happen.
So just once more, okay, because you probably have heard it enough, but you know, you guys are an inspiration to me, and you've respected me, you've helped me to cope when I was upset. You know, you've never judged me. You've respected my wishes, and I really sincerely thank you very much for that, because respect is the key. Because like respect and manners and consideration, okay, do not, and we repeat, do not cost a thing. Here's Mark.
You did right, Barry. The thought process of you know, respect is just a recognition that you have exactly the same sort of right to your own desires as everyone else, and that from that perspective, my only role is to help facilitate what you want to do, not to tell you what you can and can't do. So it's just to facilitate what you'd like to do, and you know, apart from that, you know, I have to say it's not really a job. You know, I just have to turn up with the right attitude of, you know, help you to achieve what you'd like to do in a day, and everybody's happy.
Well, guys, that really is it for part 2 of our last Monday show. And Tanya, if you are watching, I'd like to say thank you for being a part of my life and helping me get the show done. Now, Tanya and I have had a lot of fun bringing episode 33 together. We went to South Bank and we watched the river cat. We looked at all the different places we can eat. And we've even been to Chermside a couple of times. So, as we bid you farewell from Silkstone for the last time, the number that we rely on 24 hours a day, Mark and I don't need to tell you what it is. The 3 donuts. Please do not be a fool and call that number for any trivial, stupid issues. If you've got any minor problems, visit your medical center or ring Help Direct. They will be able to help you and give you the advice that you need. Here's Mark to close our last show at Silkstone with that.
Thanks, Barry. Yes, please don't abuse it. everyone knows 000 is an emergency only number, and anything that distracts those people from being able to answer the phone for an emergency is endangering somebody else. So, well, just from a practical standpoint, please don't tie them up with things that are going to waste their time. Somebody who needs them is likely trying to get through to speak to them.
So if you haven't got an emergency, guys, don't be stupid with that number, because I may need it one day. Here's Mark.
Yep. Well, we've sort of covered that everybody might need it. It doesn't matter who, but just anybody that needs it might need it. So anything that distracts them is bad.
Or anybody tells them that there is an emergency when there really isn't, guys. It is a waste of time and resources, so really do think, is your urgency an emergency before you call? Because there are other alternatives to ringing 000. So if you need to get to a doctor, call a cab, or get Uber, or catch public transport. And that, my friends, is the final show from Silkstone. Thank you, Silkstone, for your company. Thank you for coming on board. Thank you for welcoming us to your location. And as we leave you to continue the final Monday wrap, the final Monday show back at the studio, I'd like to say a very big thank you to everybody that has tuned in over the past 10 months. It really has been an absolute an absolute pleasure. So, you know, it really has been a wonderful experience. Thank you, 13 Cats, as well. And Bruce, if you are watching me, goodbye to you. And here's Mark to say his farewell. Well, not farewell, because there's still plenty of the show to go. So Bruce was a regular cab driver that we got. Here's Mark to tell you about it.
Alright, so as we've mentioned more than once on the show, taxis are the bane of our existence. They're unfortunately wholly unreliable once it gets to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and that has presented innumerable problems for us on a very regular basis.
Mate, you've just dropped that.
And as a consequence, you know, it's, I suppose, soured our opinion at times, but for the most part, you know, Bruce in particular saved us on numerous occasions when he has made a special trip across town because for whatever reason they still can't find a taxi within 20 kilometres of us. So thank you to Bruce and all the other dedicated taxi drivers, but there's not enough of you.
And the show is not over yet. There is still the rest of today's show to come up. You've been watching part 2 of our show. Get Mark to take us out to the break and to tell you what's coming up left on the remainder of our final Monday show.
Well, today we've got Barry's farewell celebrations this afternoon. I am fairly sure there might be some footage. However, I make no promises. So stay with us and there'll be more.
So, like I said, it has been a wonderful experience. Okay, really. Okay, so, guys, at the 4 o'clock tomorrow, the show finishes, but you know, you've been our rock. Excuse me. You've been my rock. And like I said at the start of the show today, I'm dedicating this show to you, and it's my gift. So thank you. Thank you, Queensland. Thank you, Alia. Thank you, Mark. And you're an inspiration.
It's been a pleasure, Barry.
And stay with us, because the show ain't over yet. The time is coming up to 10 past midday. You're with Barry Fair and Mark English. Stay with us. This is episode 77. And I just nearly jumped out of my chair because the truck started up. So guys, thank you so much. You're an inspiration. I better stop before I get a little bit emotional. So stay with us.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Well, good afternoon. Sorry we couldn't bring our farewell video celebration to you. But despair not, Mark and I have a good half an hour to bring you. And what an exciting ride it has been. And here he is now as we start to wind up our show. Here's Mark English. Good afternoon. At nearly 20 past 3. It has come down to this, Mark.
It has, Barry. So today and tomorrow left, and that will be the end of Out and About.
And in the studio.
And in the studio, and anything content-wise from Queensland. So it's going to bring to a close many things. And as we've said in the past, it's a shame, but I'm very happy that you're getting to go home and fulfill your desire to get back to the family and friends that you left behind before, and greatly improve your satisfaction with life.
And like I said, like we said at Silkstone, we've covered many shows, okay, and the first of them was on the Story Bridge. Now, as we said earlier, it was a hell of a challenge getting onto the Story Bridge because parts of Brisbane, as many of you know, okay, are very old and very uneven. Here's Mark now to tell you about it.
Thanks, Barry. Yes, old, uneven, uncared for, dare I say it, Brisbane City Council, slack. Clearly, there's been very little work done in some of those areas for a very long time. And I'm sure all those extremely wealthy people in New Farm have paid for it. So it'd be nice to see things like safe sidewalks upgraded and safe. So just a little message for Brisbane councillors out there. There's no shortage of work to do.
So if you know that something is unsafe for wheelchairs, please do fix it. Because the next person that may come to replace me or that Mark has, they might want to do some out and about like I've done. Here he is.
Yes, or even somebody who lives there in a wheelchair might want to go down the street. I know it seems to be beyond their care factor, but I do feel like it looks like it's been such a long time since anything useful was done. Underinvesting and leaving it in that state's a very bad look.
Because if there's a lot of rain, okay, and there's a lot of water and flooding, well, it could lead to very dangerous situations. So, guys, if you know of somebody in a wheelchair, ring the council, get them to ring the council, and write a letter to Brisbane Council. Tell them how dangerous some parts of Brisbane are, how uneven the footpaths are and the road crossings. Because when we went to do episode 40 at New Farm Park last year, Mark and I had a great deal of trouble going from James Street. Here's Mark to tell you about it.
Yes, it was almost an entertainment just to go straight up James Street to go to New Farm Park. There were quite a number of crossings that weren't safe. There was one time where we had to diagonally cross an intersection because they were the only ramps that would get you back up on the footpath. The other two diagonals didn't have ramps that were going to get you back up on the footpath. So we did hold up the traffic, literally, while you crossed. So it was less than satisfactory, and the fact that you couldn't cross to the side that we should have been able to just meant yet more crossing the road just to progress. So it was a dangerous situation and not necessary.
So that was on our very first out and about. And episode 40. Now, in comparison, viewers, some of Brisbane really has been done up really well. Like the wharves have been done up. you can get on the River Cap, which unfortunately we didn't get a chance to do in this series of Out and About. A shame. And on the 29th of August last year, right, we went to Planet, and as Mark said, our very first plane got rained on.
Mm.
And as I've also said to you on the show, electric wheelchairs and water do not mix. And even if you've got a raincoat on, guys, okay, you are still gonna be feeling saturated and cold, and you will start to feel sick. But that's not what we're talking about today. So like we say, if you've got someone in a wheelchair, guys, get them to ring Brisbane City Council and get them to spend some money on doing more of Brisbane Up. Because if someone is coming to live up here and they're travelling on uneven ground and uneven grass, well, this could be an accident waiting to happen. Here's Mark.
Yeah, there are lots of circumstances that you could see ending badly, but I think just some of the basics, like having a path that you can actually use from one end of the street to the other as being, I would have thought, a really basic service these days. You know, a concrete path that wasn't dangerous and not impassable for an electric wheelchair would be a minimum standard. However, it seems to be a bit of a novelty in parks.
So, I'd like to go back over now a subject that we brought up many months ago on the show, and that is phone manners. Now, phone manners are very important. So if you're civil on the phone, okay, the job will be done much quicker if you're civil. But if you're not, no, the phone call will be terminated. Okay, and you will have to wait another day until you are calm and civil. Because they're not engaged angry. We discussed this on episode 40 also. And as it said on the NDIS voicemail, or messages we call them, any rude or abusive language will not be tolerated. Here's Mark for this.
This shouldn't be something that is a dictate from anyone to anyone. Common courtesy and not being abusive or rude or aggressive on the, well, in any interaction, whether it's the phone, in person, whatever, there's zero reason for it to have anger, abuse, you know, bad language. None of that is appropriate, and there's no reason for it to happen if you want to get stuff sorted.
So, like we said last year on the show, on episode 40, whatever it is that a company was about to organize for you, it will be terminated and projects will be stopped. and that's where we must leave that subject. Okay, but getting back on to the wind up of the show, and we'll just cut to another shot with this. Well, it has been an absolute pleasure to bring Out and About in the studio to you. Like I've said before, without a show, Mark and I would not be here to bring the series to you. Here he is.
Well, Barry, it's absolutely at your instigation that any of this happens. So you have but yourself to thank for organising it, making sure that you have the knowledge to be able to do it, and organising the people you need to have involved to get it done. But in reality, from concept through to finished product, it's 100% yours. And, you know, it's just been a pleasure for me to be a part of it.
So, today I got some gifts on behalf of the company that Mark works for. If I can just get him to show you what I've got here, I'll just pause that. So an Alia t-shirt.
So I'm organising Barry's first shift as a mentor, and I'm going to take it easy on him. I might make him look after me. And
yeah,
I'm sure that'd be entertaining.
And then there is a drink bottle to go with it. Alrighty, so
Hang on, got to get my product placement right.
And there we are.
All right.
So viewers, yes, it has been a wonderful opportunity to have been with you over the past 10 months. Now, I won't go back where Out and About began or where we began, but we began our series at Bray Park. And like Mark said, we met on Zoom first because a couple of people were in isolation and COVID had hit then. And then at 10 o'clock on Monday morning, Out and About officially began. But sadly, tomorrow, that's where it ends. Well, that's where it ends on Mark's side of the screen.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that Mark will have somebody just as good, we hope.
Well, I'm wondering to myself, will anyone in the future ever be a YouTuber like you, Barry?
Well, Mark, time will tell.
Exactly right, my friend. I'm thinking probably not. It takes a lot of dedication and effort to bring this show on a daily basis. And, you know, there's not just the time that you sit in front of the camera, but then all the time that you're sitting in front of the computer as well, getting things edited and put back together and into the YouTube format, and you know, all the stuff I don't have to worry about because, you know, being a confirmed Luddite, I don't need to learn that stuff. It'll always be just magical for me.
So, our last day tomorrow, our final show will be in the studio, and we'll be cooking up a storm again. A storm for the last show. Now, to be quite honest, viewers, I really hate having to say farewell, but sometimes we all have to make a decision we don't want to make. And Mark, I mentioned to Mark when he first met me that I wanted to move back to Sydney. But like we said, it's not an easy process. Well, it wasn't an easy process because there were no vacant spots at that time. And I was getting frustrated, homesick, cranky, you name it. And then to top it all off, the dreaded COVID. We both got it.
Yeah, that was 12 days of sheer agony for you. Just stuck in your room for 12 days.
So, and then a death in my house to follow, which was not good. A few days later. And then we went off to Scarborough again to do the show. It was episode 27 of that show of Out and About. And we ate at the iconic Morgan Seafood. Now, Mark and I have shared some fish, some scallops, and some chippies. It was really good, and we had lunch overlooking the bay, looking at the water. Okay, so it was really good. We also had the cutout. We also got caught up about using people's names in the video, but we won't go into that. We learned our lesson. And then we went along to Shorncliffe to have a look there and went to Duck Seafood. And at that time, the movement was still being organised. That was last year. But last year, the 2022 book, it is shelved, so we can close that book and continue to enjoy the new year. Here's Mark.
Yes, very excited about the new year. I suspect that we both had a very interesting year last year, with changes in life, etc., that were disruptive to our norm. And, for you moved up to Queensland. That didn't work. And, ever since, really, you've been trying to get back to Sydney. So at least you've had something to work towards, which is very nice. And, when you get there, it'll be a great achievement. And in the meantime, you've had sort of, 9-10 months in Brisbane and got out and about and seen great chunks of it.
So, like we waited a ridiculous amount of taxis. Okay, but we won't go into that because we've already covered that. Okay. Before we go into the closing segment, well, I love bringing the show to you, and I hope that you continue to watch it until next Sunday anyway, when I start to pack the studio up. Here's Mark.
Yeah, well, you're going to be packing absolutely everything up and leaving a completely barren room. So, big changes. It's a big move. You know how big it is. It's just that this time, last time there was like a destination that was a mystery, but this time you've got a known quantity and you're moving back to friends and family, which is probably the most exciting aspect of it anyway. I know that you're going back to the same people or the same organisation as you were with before you came up. Hopefully the Wabash House has loads of lovely people and it remains nice and quiet.
Yeah, so guys, really, from Mark's perspective and my perspective, we'd just like to say a really big thank you for tuning in because, yeah, you know, I'm gonna keep saying this. Without this program, Mark and I wouldn't have been able to bring it to you every Monday and Tuesday, and the occasional Friday. Let's add that to the mix. So I've had a lot of people come and go. I've had Tanya come and go. Luella, yeah, she was great. And I've got a lovely lady by the name of Anita on Thursdays. And Kim on Friday, so, you know, I've had a nice assortment of stuff, sort of like a nice assortment of biscuits.
But no orange creams in there.
No orange creams in there.
And a ridiculous number of custard creams.
So, guys,
And a couple of Monty
we'd like to really say a big thank you to you because, like I said, you've been absolutely terrific. And Tanya, if you are watching, and Anita and Rona, thank you for being a part of my life. Thank you very, very much for having me. It's just been great. And without your support, I wouldn't have been able to bring this exciting show to you. But one memory I do have of the show is doing my very first episode on the Story Bridge. And that was something to behold. Now, it was an overcast day when we did this. Very overcast. It looked as though it was going to rain on us. Okay, but luckily it did not. Okay? Just a little spit. So, at 4:45, okay, you're probably thinking this is the end of the story, don't you? Well, for Mark and myself, yes it is, because tomorrow it will be the last page of our show. Here's Mark to tell you about it.
Yeah, well, we both knew it was coming, and tomorrow will be the last day for the show. We won't be able to do anything on Monday formally anyway. I'm sure that we'll manage a couple of informal shots, but we certainly won't be planning anything formal after tomorrow. And it's been an absolutely wonderful experience. And, you know, I'd love to continue, but as we know, our happiness is the main thing. And, you know, getting you back to New South Wales, where you have that friendship and family, is very important. So,
as I've just said a couple minutes ago, it is very hard to say goodbye, but you know, take a look at the comparison to last year where Mark and I first started. Okay, like I said to him, I'm thinking of moving back to NSW. But did I have the funding? No. And like Mark said, it was just miscommunication. It was just part of my package. So, here I am now on the final leg on the wagon. So, we're gonna make some room for you viewers, because we've got an action-packed last show for you tomorrow. So please do come along and join us as I say farewell. Here's Mark now.
yes, well, I'm both looking forward to and not looking forward to the last show. It's going to be grand for you, Barry, just to be able to say, yep, this is it. And then, you know, wave us off as you head to where your heart belongs. So I am looking forward to seeing the smile on your face when you head home.
So guys, that really is the final Monday episode of Out and About. Thank you so much for joining us every Monday and Tuesday and the occasional Friday here. And what great fun, Mark, we had in Indooroopilly together.
Well, everywhere, Barry, it was, you know, it was always fun. Although I do know that you do like those games, so I'm not surprised that you have a special place for Indooroopilly.
So a special thanks to all the cab drivers up here in Queensland. Although sometimes we thought they were beep, but we won't hold that against them.
That was B for busy.
We're busy, but again, we won't hold that against them. So guys, at nearly 9 minutes to 4 o'clock, it is nearly time for Mark and I to head off. And to close the show, Mark, thank you so much again for being a wonderful person. And I hope someday that we will catch up in Sydney.
I'm certain we'll catch up in Sydney, Barry. Absolutely certain.
So, at 8 minutes before 4, guys, that's really it for that's the last Out and About outing. And we're sorry that we couldn't bring it on the Story Bridge. We were looking forward to it, but it was really too hot today to do it. So guys, and so with that, Out and About was born on Monday, May 30th, 2022. Just like a newborn baby coming into the world. And I certainly hope that you've enjoyed Out and About and in the studio, because it's been an absolute pleasure and an honor to bring the Monday show to you each week, each Monday at 10 o'clock. And like always, the message that we close each show with, and we're going to close it now with this: 000. Please do not, and we repeat, do not be an absolute idiot with that number and tie up the emergency services. Because the wrong call that you make, the 000 could cost someone their life, like mine or Mark's or anybody's. And here's Mark now to close our final Monday session with that.
Thanks, Barry. Very wise words. It's imperative that 000 operators are only dealing with emergencies. Now, if you give half a thought how many ambulances you see flying around your local area with lights and sirens flashing that have come from an emergency, they seem pretty constant. So I'm going to put it out there that these 000 operators are vastly more busy than you might give thought to. And as such, it's even more important that they're not distracted by time wasters. So please do not waste their time with prank calls or inappropriate calls. Do use 000 if you have an emergency and it's a genuine need, but otherwise please leave them alone. And if you can, as Barry said earlier, get a friend or a taxi or something to take you to the local doctor or up to the local hospital. If you can do all those things, it's not an emergency.
And if you're feeling lonely or down, please call a friend, call someone, tell them that you really are feeling lonely, but don't ring 000 just to tell them that. There is lifeline there. 131114. That's 131114. And they are there 24 hours a day for your convenience. If you need them, the same with 000. But really think, guys, is your urgency and emergency before you dial those 3 zeros. Because the last thing you want to have happen is to tie up emergency services with a nuisance call. And it's nearly 4 o'clock. Sadly now, it is time to bid farewell to the Monday show. Thanks for your company each week here on the show. Here's Mark now to say his thanks.
Thanks, Barry. Well, viewers, as he just said, this is the last time for Monday afternoon, and I hope you've enjoyed it. We certainly have. And of course, there's the Tuesday show. So we're back tomorrow, but quite rightly, this is it for Mondays, and we shall bid you a fond farewell. Take care of yourselves, and if you've enjoyed the show at all, please contact Barry and give him some feedback.
And you can write to me at 16 Wabash Avenue, Cromer, New South Wales 2099, but I am not set up there yet. Okay, so if you feel like writing into my new productions when I resume, please do, write in or call me, because the show means a lot to me, because I enjoy bringing it. So from the last Monday show, it's a very good afternoon to you and to all the viewers. See you tomorrow for the final edition of the show. Thanks for your company, and Bruce, goodbye to you, mate. Thanks for your company over the few months, and to all the taxi drivers in Queensland, all the staff in the Commonwealth Bank, Silkstone Doctors, Medical Matters, the Queensland Ambulance Service, absolutely terrific. Morgan Seafood at Scarborough, thank you. And to Doug Seafood, thank you. Sapphire Bowl, thank you. Soul Origin, thank you very much. And McDonald's, thank you very much. And here's Mark now to say goodbye.
Thanks, Barry. Well, viewers, Barry, thank you so much for letting me come into your lounge rooms or wherever it is that you watch your YouTube, into your life, I should say. And it's been a wonderful experience. thank you, Barry, for introducing me and letting me be on your show. And, all I can say is I've had a ball, and, whilst it's coming to an end, I'd be more than happy to be doing this again with you, Barry.
So as it's now 4 o'clock, so it is time to say farewell to you now. And from Mark English and myself, from the final Monday edition of Out and About, thank you for your company, and we'll see you back here 10 o'clock in the morning for the final edition.
Goodbye, Monday viewers.
And we'll be back here 10 o'clock in the morning to bring you the last Tuesday wrap, and who knows what we'll get up to. So that's it, and that's why I'm Barry Fair. Thanks for your company, and bye bye. Thanks for watching the Monday Out and About every week here. Bye bye now.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow for the final edition. Bye bye. Nice.